This is From the Depths of Obscurity. I'm your host, Big Ron, and as always,
I'm the voice of reason.
and we're going to present to you 60 minutes of obscure music from the year 1960 to 1972.
And I'm going to experience it for the first time with the listener and give my opinion at the end of the song.
This is music from my era that was the basis for the music we have now. You're going to find some parallels between what you're listening to now and what we had back then. Now, this music, a lot of this music didn't sell. Matter of fact, all of it didn't really sell. I don't think any of these songs broke top 100. But when you listen to them, you're going to see, you're just going to see why they're obscure. I chose these myself. These are out of my collection. And let's get started. The first group actually became the forefathers of early garage and grunge music. There's a lot of groups today and in the past have said this is their influence. Anyways, we'll talk about Pacific Northwest group, the Sonics, and the Witch.
She's an evil chick. Say she's the witch. She got a long black hair and a big black car. I know what you're thinking, but you won't get far. She's gonna make you ill, 'cause she's the witch. Well, she wants around at night, won't start the people sleeping tight. If you hear a knocking on your door, you better say it away. Wow, wow, baby, wow. Now you know the score, 'cause I sent you straight. But you better be careful before it's too late. She's gonna make you ill, 'cause she's the witch. Late at night, when most other people sleeping tight. If you hear a knocking on your door, you better take it away. Wow! What is of you in? Say, don't you know? And do you remember that I told you so? Gonna do you in, 'cause she's the witch.
Well, voice, what'd you think of that?
I swear to God, he said bitch.
You know something? That's why we really liked that song. I mean, let's face it, they were out of tune. They sounded terrible. I mean, it was a horrible vocal, but
Yeah, they were out of tune, and I don't know what the guitar player was doing, but that's not grunge.
well, they were cited as the first grunge band. I mean, there's a lot of people. Kurt Cobain said that was one of his favorites. There's other groups too.
Kurt Cobain said that the Sonics was one of his favorites.
Yeah, he did. He said in an interview, he said he couldn't believe that they recorded cheaply and that he'd never heard a drummer get a sound like that.
Really? I can believe that they recorded cheaply. I really could.
I think they did everything cheaply. The cheap alcohol they were on at the time. Yeah, I tell you.
Old Dan Tucker.
I don't think they could afford that. They were pretty bad. I mean, to me, they sound like they're out of tune, but They were rough. They were raw. I mean, it's kind of like when your buddies just get instruments, for Christmas. Then they go out in the garage and they play it, and they sound terrible, but yet you're still going cheering them on, right?
This song kind of reminds me of that scene from Sling Blade, where he gets the band back together.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they were all eating red fried potatoes. Yeah, I'm gonna flip your head open with a lawnmower blade. Yeah.
Some people call it a Kaiser blade.
Hey, believe it or not, this band is going to tour again.
I hope they don't.
Yeah,
what are they in the geriatric ward?
I think most of them died anyways. I mean, they've killed each other or something, but in asylums. No, they actually are going to tour. They're going to release another album.
May God have mercy on anyone's soul that buys that album.
Well, I think what happened was through the years, they've got a lot of, they've been written about a lot as an early influence, and now they become, like superstars now, something that they didn't achieve when they were, when they were making this music.
It kind of works like this. Okay, Nick Drake. Nick Drake was a great artist, great singer, great songwriter, beautiful. That was awful. That was more than awful. That was worse than awful.
But the sad thing about Nick Drake, he had to die before he was noticed and become popular. These guys are still alive. I mean, it's not fair.
And that's the tragedy. Now let's move on to our next song.
Okay, we're gonna go across the ocean now, and interesting story about this. I'll tell you about it after the song. This is a group from Scotland, the Poets, and that's the way it's got to be. Okay, was that one a little better for you? You seem to have you look a little more happier.
Well, yeah, it was a much better song. It was a better artist, but it sounds like She's Not There by the Zombies.
Well, that was about the same era. This is a very well-respected band in Scotland. I got an interesting story about this song. If you ever see a movie called Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster, it was made about 1964, 65.
It's also considered the worst film ever made.
Well, I don't know if it's the worst, but it's okay. It's the worst. Okay, I've seen
Except
it.
for the movie Teenage Strangler with the 25-mile-an-hour car chase.
Oh, this is worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
is
thought
worse.
so.
I tell you, this song was featured in that movie. They played it twice, and then there was another song that we'll probably play on another podcast. But anyways, this song was played twice during the movie. I don't know why they played it twice. I mean, you heard it once.
Well, that was the best thing they could afford. They probably spent a lot of money on it, and then they were like, you know what? We don't really have anything else, and we're out of money, so we're just going to play this again.
Is it kind of like that 2 for 2 at McDonald's thing, you know? But anyways, this was a very low budget film. I mean, this was a no budget film. There was when I was in my youth, okay, 3:15 on a Friday afternoon when school lets out. There was a guy dressed like Frankenstein that ran across the parking lot, being chased by a guy in a astronaut outfit with a ray gun. Okay,
So you felt at home then, right?
well, I was on my way home, but they timed it just right. It was a publicity stunt, and anyways, they ran across the parking lot. All of us kids screamed and carried on. Then these two guys come over. You know, they're dressed like, in suits and hats, like they're FBI or CIA or something. They're going like, "Did you see it? Did you see where they went?" You know that. Well, yeah, they went that way. Everything, and they gave us free passes to go to see the show. Opened Saturday morning at the Markham Theater on South High
So
Street.
basically, they coerced you into getting tickets.
No, I mean, they got me there to give me a free ticket. So yeah, I get a free ticket. I'm gone,
It's
man.
like, this movie's so bad, we're giving you tickets.
After I seen it, when you're a kid, it was fun. I mean, we went there, we threw popcorn, we danced to the music, that kind of thing. But then I seen it years later after I'd grown up, probably about 30 years later after I'd grown up. It was a terrible movie. One interesting note, okay, well, two interesting notes. First of all, there was an actress in there. She played an alien. She played the queen of the planet or something like that. Marilyn Hanold, who was a Playboy playmate, centerfold.
So she
okay.
was hot.
Yeah, she's pretty nice looking. I mean, they made her wear a stupid looking hat, but she's still nice looking. And her evil henchman was Dr. Nadir. That was played by an actor named Lou Cattell,
The ass man.
who was the ass man on Seinfeld. That's right, yeah, Lou Cattell. It's kind of odd, 50 years later you went from an alien to an ass man. I'm a leg man myself. But anyways, that's pretty interesting. Group actually, and that song is also in another movie called Factory Girl, about Andy Warhol's people, and that starred Sienna Miller as...
Was she a playmate also?
I'm not sure what she was, but she was good. It was a really good movie, and this song was played in the movie. I was shocked. I mean, I'm watching a movie, and all of a sudden this song comes on. I said, hey, is Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster on again? But anyways, as I said, though, very well-respected group. They didn't hit with this. They did have something that hit number 39 over on the British charts, but that's about it. But they're very, very well-respected to this day. A lot of the groups over there say that they were an early influence. So that's the Poets. That's the way it's got to be. What's the next cut?
The next cut is the Soul Benders, a cover of Hey Joe.
Okay, this is a Michigan band.
Well, hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? I said, hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? I'm going out to find my woman now. She been running around with some other man. I'm going out to find my woman now. She been running around with some other man. Well, hey, Joe, I heard you shot your woman down. Shot her down now. Hey, shut her down now. Well, yes, yes, I did. I shut her down. Yes, yes, I did, 'cause I caught her messing around town. Well, hey, hey, Joe, what do you do that gun in your hand? I said, hey, hey, Joe, tell me, what do you do that gun in your hand? I'm going out to find my woman now. She been running around with some other man. I'm going out to find my woman now. She's running around with some other man. Well, hey, hey, Joe, tell me where you gonna go. I said, hey, hey, Joe, tell me where you gonna go. Well, I guess I'll go down to my place in Mexico. I guess I'll go down to where a man can be free. And there ain't gonna be no hanging rope put around me.
And that was the Soul Benders, a Michigan band, with their version of "Hey Joe." That song was done by everyone. If you had a guitar, that was like when you got the book. That was the song you learned to play. I mean, there was no Roy Clark big note song, but this was it. You learned that one.
I heard Fraggle Rock had a version of that song.
Everybody did that song. Actually, this band here, organ guitar band from from the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. Actually, I have talked with the lead singer and the organ player. His name is Eris Hampers, and a very nice guy. Went on to become like a pretty big DJ up there. He owned a record store, and a real appreciative guy, down to earth, everything. They have some original things that they had written and performed. Very good. Matter of fact, they did early music videos.
By early music videos, you mean like those little short films that was known as like pornographic videos?
I don't think it was that. It was like, like home movies. They're out,
35 millimeter.
Well, they're doing something like the Monkees did back then. Matter of fact.
Stag.
Yeah, Stag. Yeah, I'm sure. But nice guys. Jeff Bogner, who played bass, which was his writing partner, actually passed away a few years ago. Band, highly touted. He finished second in National Battle of the Bands, and they were just on the cusp of being something big. Don't know what happened. Something about they were under contract locally to someone, and then they got a big national contract, and they were kind of locked in there. They couldn't, they just couldn't work it out. And so, anyways, gone but not forgotten.
I think the
Soul
thing
Benders.
is with me is if I was to pick a version of Hey Joe, it would not be the Soul Benders. It would be either Hendrix or Buddy Guy.
Well, you can't go wrong with Buddy Guy or Hendrix version. Leaves did it first, I believe. Not bad. This is a real garage band. Okay, this is what these guys were. These were just a real, and they probably did the best garage band version of this song. So I like them, and like I said, on in some future broadcasts, we're going to play some other things by them.
All right. So what's next on the list of obscure?
Well, you tell me. What's
What I have written down is the Aardvarks. I'm higher than I'm down.
okay? I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. Is also a Michigan band from about the same area as the Soul Benders. They had a lead singer's name was Daryl Dingler. I know what you're thinking. Oh, he was in Boogie Nights. No, that's Dirk Diggler. But
I wasn't thinking that at all.
okay, well, most people were.
I think it was just you, but
It was me. It was me. Let's not choose sides. Okay. Anyways, this particular song, okay, some aficionados, music aficionados, got together and appointed themselves some kind of committee, okay, and they named this particular cut as the greatest garage teen psych 45 of that era. I don't agree, but song has merit. They got everything in this song. I mean, my gosh, when you hear it, you're going to say, oh my God, what's that? But pretty big band. Another one on the cusp of being really big. They actually recorded on Vark Records. And the reason they got their name and how they picked their name was they were trying to come up with a name. They opened the dictionary. What's the first word? Aardvark.
Yeah, that's an incredible story.
They were creative. That's for sure.
That was an awful, awful, awful idea. Let's hear this song.
Higher than I'm down, the Aardvarks.
If the time should soon arrive when I'm alone, and it seems I have no one to call my own, don't feel that you must journey to change my side around, when it is that I'm now higher than I'm down. If the sky should soon adorn my way of black, and it seems I have no way of turning back, the way that I am facing is not the way I'm bound. Yes, it is that I'm now higher than I'm down. I'm no kind to appraise of what I am. When people say that I am not just what I can, they just don't understand me. I am the way I'm found. Yes, it is that I'm now higher than I'm down. Yes, it is that I'm now higher than I'm down. Yes, it is that I'm now higher than I'm down.
I think my favorite part, I mean, there was everything in there. I mean, you had a jangly guitar. You had a really good drummer. You had a great bass line.
Oh, let's break it down. That screaming bell solo.
I like the bells. I like bells. I mean, you know, I used to have a job when I was younger. I rang them in a tower of Notre Dame. But, yeah, I mean, I think Charles Lawton was in that band for a while. Interesting notes on this band. Very hugely popular in their area. And it through the years, they had 20, 25 members float in and out of the band. They're all dead. And a large portion of their fans, okay?
All 7 of them?
Well, actually, there were 11 fans. 9 of them have died. One is in the hospital, and another one just contacted the flu. So, you know, but, you know, that was the so-called greatest teen psych garage 45 of the era. I mean, it had everything going. I mean, there was everything in there. Okay, I mean, it's okay. I don't think it was the greatest, but it's okay. Anyways, another Michigan band. Our next song that we're going to play for you is something from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, college band in Philadelphia, and I'll tell you something interesting about this band after we hear the song.
Besides their name, the Magic Mushrooms.
Yeah, well, we're going to tell you how they got that name. This is Magic Mushrooms and Let the Rain Be Me.
I'm pretty sure that I can figure it out.
Girl, I know the sun has gone. The clouds have come, you're all alone. Rain's your only friend besides me. Darling, let the rain be me. I know that winter's a lonely place, but winter soon gives way to spring. Rain is warm and tender, besides sea. Darling, let the rain be me. Rain is warm and tender for eternity. Darling, let the rain be I know your skies are dark and gray, and the rain comes down all day. Rain can be fresh and sweet, as I know you'll see, if you let the rain be me.
That was the Magic Mushrooms and Let the Rain Be Me. Interesting, they were a college band out of University of Philadelphia, I guess, from what I gathered. They got their name when Allen Ginsberg gave a lecture on the college campus, and he gave them the name. They didn't even know what a magic mushroom was, but with Allen Ginsberg, you know what it was.
So you're saying that out of all the college campuses, that not Dennis Leary, I'm sorry.
Allen Ginsberg.
Yes, Allen Ginsberg. I was thinking of
We know what
Dr.
you were
Leary.
thinking. We know what you were
Timothy
thinking.
Leary.
Timothy
Thank you.
Leary. Yeah.
Timothy Leary traveled to. He didn't go to Pennsylvania.
It's kind of the same guy, Allen Ginsberg, Timothy Leary.
Allen Ginsberg was a poet.
He was a poet. He was a beatnik poet of that era.
Apparently he liked mushrooms.
He liked magic mushrooms. Matter of fact, I tell you, this band was signed to A&M Records with Herb Alpert, and that when Herb Alpert found out what a magic mushroom really was, he said, you change your name or your contract is null and void, and they said, our contract is null and void.
So when you say Herb Albert, you mean the sports announcer that was?
No, that's Marv Albert with the teeth.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes, I bit you. No, Herb Albert from the Tijuana Brass.
Did he
A&M
also
Records.
have a cross-dressing fetish?
I'm not sure. You'll have to ask him.
Yeah. And the next time I
Well,
run into Herb, I'll let him
Well,
know.
you got friends. You got friends that do that, don't
Yeah.
you? But
you know-
Herb Albert told him, said, hey, you got to get rid of this name, and then they pretty much gave him the old, they gave him the finger trick. That's for sure.
Wait, but now one of the things that I will say about this song is that it really is a good mellow song.
Yeah, doesn't it sound like something out of a movie soundtrack or something?
Yeah, one of those lame "You're a Big Boy Now" movies.
Yeah, something from the '60s, kind of like you could see like they're driving across country or something. This song is playing, actually, pretty good song.
Or
I
a
liked
Woody
it.
Allen film.
Oh, yeah, definitely a Woody Allen film. But like I said, I like this. I like this song. It was melodic and had a swirly organ and woodwinds and everything. So but I wouldn't classify this as garage. It's more like maybe very mild early psychedelic. This is not LSD music.
I don't think it's
This
that.
is Benadryl music.
Yeah.
Okay, I took a Benadryl and I like this
Yeah.
song.
I don't think it's psychedelic either. I just think it's like that overproduced, trying to fit into the pop genre type of music.
Well, I'm not sure if it's like the pop genre, but it's more psych than pop. But it's very, very. This is in 1966, so it's like very early psych. But anyways, I like the song. Never went anywhere. They did have something called "It's a Happening" that was an absolute trash of a record. That was like their big claim.
So what you're saying is it wasn't happening.
Oh, it wasn't happening for anybody. I think they bought a couple copies themselves, and the drummer returned his. So, anyways, but that was Magic Mushrooms and "Let the Rain Be Me." Our next cut is
TC Atlantic. Would you like to say anything about them?
Yeah, I would. Okay, very interesting. This should have been, in my opinion, the first time I heard it back in '66. This should have went somewhere. TC Atlantic was the name of a group up in the Minnesota area. They recorded at the very famous Dove Studios. Okay, it's very famous. I think the biggest hit to ever come out of Dove Studios was a song called "The Crusher," about the wrestler The Crusher by the Novas. Horrible song, da 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 headlock, da 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 da, that kind of thing. Hammerlock. Terrible record. Made number
Follow-up hit was Bruiser, about Dick the Bruiser.
It was about Reggie Lasowski, the Crusher, big wrestler at the time up there. It made number 88 on the national charts. That is probably, of all these songs.
What about Surfing Bird?
So, there was a rumor that Surfing Bird was cut at this studio too, but I later found out it was cut at one like a block away or something.
Those bastards.
I'm not sure. I mean, one member of the Trashmen still alive says we cut it at Dove. Another one says we cut it somewhere else. So I'm not going to make that assumption. But Dove Recording Studios, very, very infamous. Very infamous. It was ran at the time by Dale Minton and Peter Steinberg from 1965 to 1969. This particular song just proves that you can take anything and make music with it. And I love this song, and it should have went. This is called 20 Years Ago in Speedy's Kitchen.
Is this the one that you said had a great story behind it?
This has got a tremendous story behind it. And like I said, just listen to the song, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
All right, 20 Years Ago in Speedy's Kitchen.
For a drink with Sleepy Tom, Weasel drank it and
Minnesota. That was TC Atlantic and 20 years ago in Speedy's Kitchen, which was actually about a robbery in 1945.
Beautiful story.
Yeah. It's it's touching, isn't it?
Yeah, it's touching about guys being touched in prison now.
I'm sure they did. But as you
Are
can
they
see,
dead like the aardvarks?
Oh, I think they. Well, as you said, they died in 1945. Come on. I mean, but you see what I'm saying? You could take anything and make a piece of music back then, and actually, that was a good piece. In my opinion, that was a very good piece, and that should have went somewhere.
You know, I'm thinking about writing a song right now called 20 Minutes in the Bathroom after listening to that.
Well, okay, well, you can do that. I'm thinking of like, if I don't eat in 20 minutes, I'm going to keel over and die. I mean, but this was really good. It was a really good song. Dove recording, Peter Steinberg, Del Minton. They used studio groups back then. Just anybody could come in and they would employ them. Kind of ran a shoestring budget. It was called Candy Floss Productions, and they've just released a compilation album. It's called the Music of Mid-America, 1966 to 1969, and that song's on there. A couple other ones. Interesting about these two guys. Del Minton is a very respected musician. He does a lot of TV and movie music and has made a pretty good living. Peter Steinberg, a little different guy. He was a musician, writer, producer, you name it. Has written books about surgical techniques. So very learned guy. Left Minnesota with everybody's money, so he was pretty successful being a con man and a thief.
Well, he had to plan out how to get out of Speedy's Kitchen and take the money and run.
Well, maybe the song was about him robbing those guys. But
exactly. How do you think he got through medical school?
He's a smart guy, though, and there's some songs we're going to play later on that from the infamous Dove recording studios. But it's just interesting that they had a couple other songs there, like World War III in Cincinnati, and there's some other groups that are pretty good. There's one group we'll talk about later that's just bizarre. But anyways, let's move on. Okay, the next cut is this is more of a teen song from same area, Holland, Michigan. This group was from, written by John Dunn, who was the lead singer for the Sheffields. This is his little brother's band. This is Dana Dunn, the New Era, called We Ain't Got Time.
We ain't got time to do the things we wanna do. We ain't got time to say the things we wanna say. We'll live today as if there's
That was from Holland, Michigan, and that is New Era, and We Ain't Got Time. Little jangly pop thing from late 1966, early 1967. That kind of music was kind of fading out by that time. Music had taken a harder edge to it, and they were still trying to keep it alive. This is a kind of song that appeals to,
Sleepers?
well, girls.
No,
was-
no. It appeals to those Michael Bolton, the other Kenny G, that type of music. It's just dreadful.
I don't know if that was that bad, dreadful. It's kind of catchy. That would have been probably a bigger hit in 1964, 65. It kind of sounds like from that. They were a couple years behind their time.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
It's always good to be behind the time.
they try to bring it back, But anyways, decent band. They had many incarnations. Dana Dunn's band. They had 4 or 5 different names before they finally broke up. Dana died in, I believe, 2013. Okay, pretty respected musician in that area also. And I think his brother, the guy that wrote the song, I think he's still around, but I don't think he's in the music business.
When you said New Era, I thought you said New Order, and I was like getting ready for some Blue Monday.
Oh. Well, no, it was New Era. And I guess in 1966, 67, that was a new era for this band. Obscure, you're not going to hear it unless you... I guess if you go to Holland, Michigan, it's probably on every jukebox there. It's like the Aardvarks. And that...
Yeah, because they were winners.
well, yeah, they're all dead. And that, okay, they're following suit. Dana Dunn's dead. Anyways, but... like I said, a little change of pace, that would be more like a teen, that appeals to teenage girls, his band probably played a Tasty Freeze somewhere, and they had about 6 or 7, 12-year-old girls jumping up and down. Dana might have spent time. He might have did some time for something. Anyways, not to denigrate Dana Dunn, but that was New Era. We Ain't Got Time. We're moving on to our, what's our next cut here?
The next cut has the greatest title in the world, Substantial Evidence.
Okay, this song is called Death Angel by a group called Substantial Evidence. I love the name of the group. I mean, if I was going to name a group, Substantial Evidence, I had one many years ago. My son was, they were thinking of a band name, and I think this is something like Disappointed Youth or Misguided Youth or something like that, but I always thought of Substantial Evidence. This is bizarre, to say the least. Okay, very obscure record out of Mississippi, I believe. It's called Death Angel. The words are really good. When you hear it and after we play it, you're going to notice some parallels to some other groups of the era. But this is Death Angel by Substantial Evidence.
A girl with her face turned backwards, smiling so no one else can see.
That was Substantial Evidence and Death Angel. That was recorded in Mississippi, late 1967, 68.
So what you're saying is the lead singer was a serial killer.
Well, with words like that, I'm sure there were some issues there. They never did. They never have found Zodiac.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, a girl with her face turned backwards, smiling so no one else can see. But she walks and her feet aren't moving.
Yeah, it's a little Ed Gein-ish, if you ask me.
Was it what was that one line?
I'm actually trying to forget it because I've been traumatized since I heard it.
I think everyone that's heard that song, save for me, has been traumatized. I'm sure the band traumatized people.
Are they dead too, and the lead singer killed him?
No. Incidentally, they've all got out. Okay, they've all got out. They've all been paroled. No,
They've all been released from the asylum.
no, that's the later band coming up. But they're actually active. This band is still
You're
out
kidding
there.
me.
Yeah, they're out there in Mississippi. I think they're probably doing
The Chitlin circuit
well,
or the dead body circuit?
I think they're doing the funeral circuit. They play at funerals. But no, they're out there, and I think they do the bar club circuit. They're supposed to be a really good dance band. Do a lot of covers and things like that.
When I hear those songs, I just want to dance
Well,
with my wife's dead lying corpse.
Well, I think it's like that's the Death March, the Dance of the Dead or something like that. But interesting, very interesting. I mean, I can see why in that era that song was not played. Okay. Catchy tune, right? Catchy, little catchy tune. Sounds a lot like the Left Bank to me. What do you think?
Yeah, it did sound like Walk Away Renee.
Well, this particular Renee had her head on backwards and she floated around and
was buried.
Yeah, she's dead.
A little
Nice
bit of
subject.
lime in
The guy's
a
name
crawl
was,
space.
yeah, probably found parts of her all over Mississippi. The writer was a guy named Ray Zoller. So if you run into Ray Zoller, run the other way. Okay. All right. We got another Michigan band up. This band was really supposed to take off. This was supposed to be probably the best band out of Michigan at the time. I know you Aardvark fans are disappointed. And what if you don't reveal yourself because you're headed for death?
Yes.
But this band was actually supposed to be big. They had a national recording contract, and they just never hit. Okay. This is a Troy's and Rainbow Chaser.
Don't care, you're grabbing for thin air.
all you Michigan fans, that was the Troys and Rainbow Chaser. Again, another Grand Rapids, Holland, Michigan band. Supposed to have been big, supposed to be on their way to being big.
God awful band.
Well, I don't know. Okay, it was god awful. I could see that the music reminded me of like Dieter from Sprockets. You know, the song he danced to at the end. You know, it kind of gave me that feel like industrial music or something. Very early industrial music.
I don't know if it's industrial, but the guitar solo kind of reminded me of Teenage Strangler. You know, that 25-mile-an-hour car chase we talked about earlier.
You know, early, yeah. You keep bringing it up.
I can't help it. I mean, this music is reflecting it.
That's because your car won't go 25 miles an hour, but you need to get that fixed. But with this song, like I said, I just get an industrial feel. It could be early industrial music. I'm sure they didn't know that they were sparking, a new genre of music at the time. Supposed to be big. You know, they were going places. Very popular. That was actually kind of a polished single. With the stuff we're playing, that was actually one of the more polished ones. Anyways, the Troys, Rainbow Chaser, they only recorded 2 songs. Neither one went anywhere. That was the biggest noise they made there. I don't even think it broke the top 100. Matter of fact, I know it didn't break the top 100.
Noise.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're down to our final record.
That's right. Now tell us the story behind I'm a Living Sickness.
This is one of the most bizarre, obscure, chilling. I mean, this is to me, this is my favorite song of that era of the teen psych garage. This is my number 1 pick. This was again recorded at Dove Studios, Steinberg and Minton. This is actually Peter Steinberg he wrote it, and this is him singing. He had a backing band that was popular in the area called the Nightcaps. He brought them to the studio. They didn't want to record this. Matter of fact, they didn't want to record anything for him, but he coerced them into doing this particular song. Lead singer refused to sing it, so Steinberg sang the song. This band, the Calico Wall.
So that's like the Phil Spector story about the guitar solo? Like,
well,
get out of the way, I'll just do it.
Well, but Spector could play guitar, and he could shoot women in the face, too, let me tell you. He's an expert on that. But
great producer and great shot.
Great, yeah, exactly. He won the Bullseye of the Year award, that's for sure. And he's sharing it with many, many inmates in prison.
So, okay, if this was such a great song, why was it not a chart topper?
Okay, it's interesting because this song was recorded and threw on the shelf. This was early 1967. Very bizarre record. Not the most bizarre record that this band ever had, though. But this is out there. As a matter of fact, go to YouTube. There is a perfect matched video with footage from the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, a documentary made back in the 50s, some black and white silent footage. And when you watch this footage and you hear this song being played, I mean, it leaves you with what I call musical numbness. I mean, this is it. This is the greatest punk, outsider, psych record of that era ever. This is my vote for number 1. Of course, I'm not an expert like those other guys. Okay, I'm not self-appointed, but this is mine. Okay, this band, and on later broadcasts, we're going to play some other stuff by them. But they actually had a song called Beep, which was 3 minutes of nothing more than the old rotary dial-up telephone's busy signal going beep, beep. And
we're going to review that next. That's going to be great.
That actually inspired other bands. There was another band that heard that, and they did 3 minutes
of a dial tone.
Dial tone. And another one did Time and Weather, 3 minutes of Time and Weather. So look at the inspiration here. But this is, as I said, this is out there, man. This is nuts, man. This is the Calico Wall, I'm a Living Sickness.
With you people, yet apart within
creeps me out. This has just been a small piece of
Creeps
the,
you out.
of the obscure music in my vaults. Okay, this is Big Ron.
I'm the voice of reason.
Thanks for listening.